Wow. Just wow. I have watched The Pitt. Hey guys, it's Brian. Welcome to the awards contender, and I know I don't talk about television very much here, but I just got through those 15 episodes of The Pitt on Max, starring Noah Wyle, and I am amazed. I am absolutely stunned by the high quality of this show. It's one of the best television series I have seen in the last few years. And I don't know about you, I'm not a huge medical show fan. I have seen some things here and there. I like 911. I've always enjoyed that show the last few years. But if a new series is starting and it takes place at a hospital, I'm like, I'm good. But because the word of mouth on The Pitt was so strong, I thought, well, let's give it a couple episodes. Let's see. And I knew at the end of episode 1, this was going to be a show for me because it's so much more than a medical soap opera series. The Pitt is extremely cinematic and plays out like a very long movie all set in one place. It was hard for me, guys, to not binge this thing over the course of a couple days. Typically, I watch one episode of a TV series in the morning with breakfast. That's how I watch television shows. So sometimes it'll take me 2 weeks if it's a long season. And that's what happened for The Pitt. I watched this over 2 weeks and it was so good. It was so freaking good. I said, I'm not going to binge this. I am going to appreciate every episode of this show and really take it all in. One day at a time. And I'm so happy I did because by the last 4 episodes of The Pitt, I was just completely blown away. And I knew I had to make a video review for you on the channel because when it comes to the Emmys, The Pitt, I think, is going to do very well. It's going to be nominated all over the place in a few weeks, and it's probably going to win some things, as we'll talk about. So, the setup for The Pitt is very simple. It's kind of like 24, right? Starring Kiefer Sutherland, but instead of it being an action espionage kind of series, it takes place at an emergency hospital in Pittsburgh, giving us a very intimate view into the healthcare professionals in this emergency hospital over the course of one day. Every episode is 1 hour of a single day. So from the get-go, you are just immersed into this place. You immediately get to know all of the main characters we're going to be following over the course of 15 episodes. So by episode 5, 6, 7, you have really come to know these people. You care about them. When there are crises at work, you sit up and take notice. This is not a medical show that just kind of hops around to different places and, oh, we're going to follow this character through her day, going shopping and, going to see her romantic partner or something. One of the very best things about The Pitt, an early decision when it came to this show, they got really, really right, was never leaving this hospital. We don't follow someone go run an errand for 20 minutes. You are stuck with these characters in this one location for the entirety of the season. That was the right call because it really does immerse the viewer into the hour by hour operations of this hospital, of seeing these characters as the day goes on, as things get more and more intense and frantic and scary. You can see the blood boiling with many of these people as the day continues, as we get closer to nighttime, and as we continue getting to know all of these characters, their relationships, how long certain characters have known each other. Some of the people we get to know in this show, it's their first day on the job. It's their very first day, and they are about to go through hell. What's so great about The Pitt is that you get to know about all of these people in the midst of the chaos, as they're constantly caring for patients, some of whom are very cooperative, other ones are not. The style of the show makes the energy just continue to be top notch. You're never slowing things down for 5 scenes of dialogue that it seems to just be there for the purposes of getting to know the characters and things. It's all happening through the manic intensity of what they're doing at their jobs throughout the day. And so there's never a dull moment in The Pitt. You're never sitting there like, oh man, I wish we could go back to this or that. Like, you're just in it, man. You are in it from minute one. And you're like, how can things get any worse, right? Like, I mean, just the things that happen to these people throughout the day. It's like, oh my God, what a job this is. And as the 15 episodes go along, it just gets more and more chaotic. The Pitt is not a show, I would say, for people sensitive to blood on screen, right? Because, I mean, there is so much blood in the show. There's a moment where a woman is giving birth and, like, the baby's head is crowning. And the camera is, like, right there. And you are watching this play out in real time. And I had to look away, that part. There were a couple other moments where I was like, oh my God. There is this impeccable attention to detail. The reality in the Pitt, you never feel like you're watching fiction. It all feels like you're watching this like documentary about real people in real time. And by the end of those 15 hours, you are just as drained as the characters are, right? I think it starts at 7 a.m. and it ends at 10 p.m. And you feel the exhaustion of what these characters are feeling, but in a good way, right? Like, this could have gone on another 5 episodes and I would have been all the happier for it. These healthcare professionals who are saving lives, right? 1 hour at a time are saving all of these lives and all of the problems many of them are going through personally, which we get little hints at throughout the series. You get to learn like a little bit about each main character's backstory, about their personal lives. Or, are they married? Do they have kids? Like, the writers of The Pitt do a really good job of just sprinkling little bits all throughout the 15 episodes of each of those main, like, I would say 7 to 10 characters. So by the end, you've really come to know them and understand them, empathize with them. And this is truly an experience that can't be replicated in a feature film, right? I just don't think The Pitt would work as well in a movie. This is where the television medium soars. This is what it's made for, right? Projects like The Pitt. I mean, there is nothing I disliked about this show. There's nothing. I love the immersive cinematography. The camera does not stop moving, but it's not the kind of camera work where you're getting a headache, where you're getting nauseous and things. It puts you in the center of everything that's happening. The camera roams from room to room. You always get the sense that you're not missing anything. The way the camera will go from like one conversation over here to a conversation over here. It doesn't feel overly planned. It all feels authentic and loose from episode to episode. So the cinematography of The Pitt is amazing. The storytelling is top notch. Like, all the patients that come in and out, like, they all have like pretty wild things that happen to them, but never anything where you're rolling your eyes. Like, like sometimes on 911, that show, I'm like, oh, come on, really? You don't get that sense in The Pitt. Everything feels real. Another really cool thing about how the show works is that it's not like your typical medical soap opera where like you'll have one episode of a patient's story and then you never see them again. In The Pitt, there are a few patients who we see over the course of 4, 5, 6 episodes. Like, there are ongoing patient storylines that you're invested in. These parents of like a college-age student who is pronounced brain dead, and like his parents having to deal with like, do we donate his organs? And it's so captivating. It's so sad. I cried multiple times just in that story. And it takes place over 5 or 6 episodes. It's not just one, right? It's not like you start the next episode of The Pitt and we're just on to new and better things and other patients. That's not what this show is. There is a continuity from episode to episode that is also fantastic and does make you want to binge the whole thing. I'm very proud of myself that I was able to watch one a day because it was tricky, especially toward the end. So yeah, the writing, the directing, the editing of The Pitt is freaking phenomenal. And that takes me to the performances. I'm not going to talk about all of the actors in the show. I would be here for a while. I thought I would single out 3. 3 performances, 3 characters that really spoke to me, that I thought were Emmy worthy, that I thought were just astonishing. Let's of course begin with Noah Wyle. Who is an actor? Let me be perfectly honest. I have never put much thought into throughout the years. I watched a little bit of ER when I was younger. Like, that's basically what I knew him from. He's been in films here and there. He's never had like a really great role in a movie. And because like I pay more attention often to cinema than television, he's just not an actor I've ever really thought much about until The Pitt. Holy shit! Noah Wyle in this show, it is one of the greatest performances I've seen in many a year, film or TV. I do think Noah Wyle is going to win the Emmy for Best Actor in a Drama Series, right? He completely holds the show together. There are a lot of characters, especially in the first like 5 episodes, I would say. There's like 10 plus characters you're getting to know, and you know, the frantic nature of the storytelling. There's something about Noah Wyle. His character, his performance, he just grounds everything right from the get-go and holds this entire endeavor together in a beautiful way. You have the memory of him on ER when he was much younger. That does, I think, play into like the power of what he's doing in The Pitt, because he's older now, he's more seasoned, he's been around, he's seen a lot of shit, and this is one of his worst work days ever. And again, the writers did a very good job of sprinkling little bits of detail about his backstory, about his work during COVID and how that affected him, how he had a relationship with a woman and became very close to her son, so he was kind of like a stepfather, and that element comes into play at the end. His character has a good head on his shoulders, but he can also kind of snap at people, right? Like they can get under his skin. There are so many compelling moments in The Pitt where he just goes off on people, like seemingly out of nowhere, and it's so captivating to watch. The workplace politics of this series is really well done, and oftentimes Noah Wyle's character of Michael is right at the center of that. So yeah, he's a character you really come to love and care about, and as the season goes on, you're hurting for him in a sense. You want him to do well and be okay, and you know his emotional breakdown is coming. Like, I knew that was coming. Like, over 15 hours, I was like, oh, he's gonna have just a total breakdown at some points. And it does end an episode toward the end of the season, and I was gone, you guys. I was crying so hard for this guy. And I'm just sitting there like, holy shit, man, Noah Wyle. Like, where did this come from? Like this is one of the most impactful performances I've seen in a long while. And yeah, I was really stunned by his work in this show. I know he's getting the Emmy nomination. I think he's probably going to win. And then I could talk about so many other great performances in this. It was delightful to see Fiona Dourif, who I love from the Chucky movies, get a really rich role in this series. She is fantastic. Catherine Lanassa, I think, has this beautiful maternal quality that really adds a wonderful element to the show. Garen Howell, Patrick Ball, Shabana Aziz, like the list goes on and on. There's probably 20 plus performances in The Pitt that I was really impressed by. But the other 2 people I want to talk about, that I want to single out in this video. The first is Tracy Fatchor as Dr. Heather Collins, who is going through some things this day. She is pregnant and she has a miscarriage, and it is so devastating. The way she handles it, and you know, she's trying to be professional and go about her job, go about her day, but like she's helping a patient give birth. And like, this is just happening after she's had this traumatic miscarriage in the bathroom. And her story is so sad, so impactful. And the way she copes with this traumatic event, her relationship with Dr. Michael Ravinovich and their back and forth is really interesting. And you can see like there's a combative nature to them, their relationship, but they also respect each other. The way that he reacts to the news that she's had a miscarriage, and it's one of those characters in The Pitt that is going to have a huge impact on everybody watching it. Tracy Fatchor, like, she's done some television. She was in Wonka. I haven't seen her in much, but she is fantastic in this. And then the other person to single out, what a character, what a performance, Taylor Dearden. as the young Dr. Melissa King, who has this ability to get through to patients, to be able to talk to them. She is this calming presence in the series that as the episodes go on, you just want to spend more and more time with her character, because especially when crises break out, she has this ability to manage all of her emotions and all of the chaos and find ways to center herself and be there for her patients when they need her the most. Taylor Dearden in The Pitt is absolutely phenomenal and deserves an Emmy nomination. So yeah, I could go on. There's probably 5 to 10 other things I could talk about that I love about this show. But for now, I'll leave you with this. I do think this is going to go down as one of the finest television series of the last few years. I can't wait to see season 2, which I think is coming in 2026. I think I read it's going to take place on the 4th of July, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I'm hoping The Pitt is a yearly show. I hope every single year for a while we get 15 episodes of this, because it is as captivating as storytelling gets. In film or television, The Pitt is one of the best things I have seen in a long while. I was completely blown away by Adolescence a few weeks ago, and now The Pitt, I mean, I might even love this more. That's how much I was taken with this series. It is something else. It is true quality television storytelling of the highest order. I do think The Pitt is a masterpiece, and I give it a 10 out of 10. Thanks so much for watching and subscribing, and let me know in the comments below, what did you think of The Pitt? Do you think it's going to win a bunch of Emmys in a few months? I'll see you next time at the Awards Contender.